Welcome! We are the National Body of Fishing Health, CENTROS. We are going to know good aquaculture practices in trout farming centers. Before starting any aquaculture activity, the first thing to do is to decide where our farming culture center will be placed. We recommend that the main water have certain characteristics, like not having waste of agricultural activities, either waste of industrial activities, and much unless there are no human settlements close to our center. Because effluents are going to direct to water, and this water is going to our ponds, so that it will damage the normal growth of our species. And even it may lead to diseases that are harmful. It is recommended that the farming center is placed near an access road which facilitates the transfer of workers, obtaining seeds, and the transfer of our product, or if we want to sell olive beans. The farming center must have a perimetric fence in order to prevent other people may enter the farming center. If it is delimited from the outside, it allows us to take control what people enter and which do not. In this case, the panel says entry forbidden because before entering the farming center we have to go through disinfection and cleaning. Cars pass for a tire disinfection to avoid cross-contamination and to indicate visitors they must use foot wash, hand wash sinks before entering each area. Once we have chosen where to place our aquaculture center, it is recommended to have a water intake through a main channel. This main channel will supply to all ponds, but before water entering, it is recommended to have a sand trap or settler grills. This grill is going to make the flow speed slow, and in that speed decrease, all particles in suspension will settle, so that water can enter the ponds in a cleaner way and with less solid in suspension. There are two ways of construction for farming. Some are circular and others are rectangular ponds. In this case, we will talk about the advantages of the circular ponds. If it is circular, the water remains in circulation. Keep always in circulation, it will allow a greater oxygen of water. This will lead also to use higher densities in farming. Other benefit it has is that when it is in circulation, the non-consumed food or stool will always keep in the center of the pond, and their cleaning will be easier. Other benefits is that not have empty spaces, as in the case of rectangular ponds. Cleaning of ponds is very important. Cleaning must be weekly or every 15 days. It is important to take record of physico-chemical parameters of water, both temperature, oxygen, and pH, which are the most frequent. Those parameter records must be made on a daily basis. Here we are in the area of food storage. This food storage area must be exclusively for food. There cannot be remains, maybe paint, pesticides, herbicides, plaguicides. Sacks of food must be not in direct contact with the floor. These must be on pallets or any type of wood. Either it must be in direct contact with the walls, and space always has to be provided. Other considered recommendations is to have a rodent pest control. Always carry a place cleaning, monitoring, daily cleaning and disinfection. It must be closed because if it has any type of window open, birds may come. That also for the food they may come and peck the sack. Birds also are carriers of bacteria and parasites that may cause damage to fish we are farming. Food brands must be certified by the health authority, in the case CENTROS. Once the daily portion is weighed, do not leave the sack which is being used open. Keep it always closed, as in this case. It's always recommended that the food storage remains in a cool and dry environment, because if we have greater humidity, we will have greater presence and fungi. This is a temperature and humidity gauge, and it is not indicating that it's in temperature 11.7 degrees Celsius and humidity is at 52%. There are two kinds of food, both manual as automatic. The advantage of the manual is that you can observe if the fish is eating or is not eating. It is recommended to wear the surgical gloves and do not enter in direct contact with the food. All personnel must have proper clothing. We have mamelukes, white boots, water clothing and water gloves too. When a worker has infectious disease, it is best to communicate to the manager area or farming center and avoid work under those conditions. Other things always recommended for farming centers is that they must train its staff on hygiene or cleaning issues. Always before entering, use in every area hand wash or food wash sinks that are held for each area. This area is for disinfection of materials. Materials must be cleaned because if we're going to keep them in directly to storage, fungi, bacteria, or other pathogens can be found that may cause damage to the fish. In this case, we are farming. It is very important proper management of solid waste. Identification of location of waste bins is always good, as in this case an inorganic waste bin, and where it is indicated that the waste must be thrown in the waste bin. Then the truck collector comes to dispose all this waste so that they may not cause pollution in the farming center. A common practice in farming centers is that every day we have to check the mortality in the ponds. At the time of the feeding, dead animals must be removed and take a record of mortality. In addition, it is recommended an area of mortality away from the center of farming and bury the dead fish there. These dead animals have pathogen bacteria or may have viruses. When we bury them, add a little lime. What lime is going to do is to eliminate pathogen found in the skin of those fish and help the decomposition of the dead species. After this process, through the bury, we are contributing to help the environment and our own personal safety. The goal of good aquaculture practices is to keep the aquaculture center product unharmful. That is, the already harvested product, when it reaches to the consumers, does not cause them any damage. It is a sound advice of the national body of the health fishing, SANIPES. If you like this video or consider its information valuable, sign in and comment, and remember also to click on the like button and share it in your social networks.